ಅಂದರೆ ತಿಂಗಳ
ಸರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿನೇ ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 2-3 months ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಹೌದಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ 2-3 months
ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್.
Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Exclusive. We are bringing you Operation Namma Clinic in this show, viewers. It's a new chapter of the Khatakhat model drying up the state's coffers. Karnataka's Namma clinics are now feeling the pinch. A Times Now investigation has found that several staff members working at these Namma clinics across Bengaluru have not received their salaries for the past 3 months. These clinics, which were established by the BBMP to offer free primary healthcare services at the ward level, are reportedly facing severe financial challenges due to the state's cash crunch. Doctors, nurses, lab technicians group A and helpers as well as maintenance staff have been left unpaid. Doctors earn a monthly salary of 60,000 rupees while group D workers receive a monthly salary of about 15,000. The Karnataka government has reportedly informed the staff that 3 months' salary will be paid to them together instead of disbursal on a monthly basis as was initially promised. Let's take a look at what staff members, including doctors, a nurse and a group 4 employee of the Namma clinic have admitted on hidden camera.
ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿನೇ ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು 2-3 months ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಹೌದಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ
ನಾಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ನಾಟ್ once in 2-3 months. How do you sustain, sir? Did you tell the government about it? What they said? The government only they are saying you feel some food. You guys have protested also, no? One time? Yes. But nothing happened. Nothing. Salary ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ salary ಉಂಟು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಿ By government 3 months also ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ you are supposed to get every month or every month? Supposed to get every month, or they get combined and do it after 3 months. Where is your contract?
ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ?
3 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಮತ್ತೆ 3 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ
5 ತಿಂಗಳು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, 2 ತಿಂಗಳಾಗಿದೆ, 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತಾನೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್.
ಮಗ ಇದೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗಿಲ್ಲ?
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ತಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲ.
ನೀವೇನು ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ವಾ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ?
ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ, ಫಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ.
There are approximately 243 Namma clinics under BBMP limits. This delay has led to growing frustration among healthcare workers, many of whom are struggling to manage their daily expenses without regular pay. The state government says that they will look into the issue.
Salaries have not come for the people working in the Namma clinics at Group D workers and Group A workers. They said for 3 months they have not received the salaries.
No, I will check it up. I think maybe it is connected to the BBMP this thing. I will just check up why. Because earlier we had not received money from Government of India. So then we had written to them and we had adjusted some funds. But I will just check what is the exact reason and get back.
Times also spoke to BBMP Chief Commissioner who attributed the salary delay to possible attendance-related issues.
Yeah, I think there is some confusion because we do a proper, there's no shortage of money, etc. It could only be some kind of issue where the attendance cycle, there's a mismatch or we are not able to get the attendance within time. What we will do is we'll create this online system so that if we get this attendance in time, we'll definitely ensure the payment is done by the 1st of the month or 2nd of the month.
BJP has, however, slammed the state government, saying that this is a result of financial mismanagement by the Congress government, as it was more focused on freebies instead of day-to-day governance.
The state government is financially bankrupt, but they don't want to accept it. They are celebrating 500 crore people have traveled free in the buses. even bigger than that is paying salaries to the employees who are working for the establishment. Their priority is only for the freebies, not for the day-to-day government governance.
Let's go across to Imran for more on this. Imran, this is a big story that you're breaking. On the one hand, you have the state government which says they are looking at central funds and what is the status as far as that is concerned. You have the BBMP which says that salary cycle issues are there, which is why for 3 months people have not got their salaries. I mean, this is the limit, because you have a situation where government staff engaged in as critical as sectors healthcare are not being paid their salaries on time.
Well, absolutely, Madhav. When government touts this as one of their ambitious project of Namma Clinic, and they claim that they are providing free medical and health to the poorest and poor of the society. However, whereas people working in there, salaries have not been paid for the past 3 months. God only knows how are they surviving. We spoke to many of the people there on candid cameras, expressing their difficulties with life, saying that they're surviving on because of the, some of the relatives are working or some of the family members are working. That's the only way they can sustain. Some are doing double jobs after working here, going back in the night to ensure that they survive so that their next salary is paid to them. It's not just a question of one employee or two employees. In fact, across the state, what we're getting the information and what we got so far is the 243 clinics in Bangalore across the state, salaries have not been paid for Group D employees for the past 3 months, and even the doctors and lab technicians, other in far as the technician Group A employees are concerned, their salaries have not been paid for the past 2 months. In fact, they approached the state government over this, and the state government said to them that salaries will be paid once in 3 months, and they have to sustain it that way. In fact, when he spoke to the BBMP commissioner, he gave a very evasive answer. In fact, an insult to the employees, saying that because of attendance issue, they have not been paid. If attendance issue is there, their salaries should have been paid 1 month. Why delay for 3 months is what the question is.
Absolutely. I mean, what kind of salary cycle issues can there be, or what can explain a 3-month delay as far as anybody's expenses are concerned? Every one of them would have various household expenses. This is certainly not what is expected out of the state government when it comes to such a critical sector. Imran, stay with us. I want you to be with us through the course of this debate. And let me introduce our guests at the moment. We have JS Prashant, who's a BJP spokesperson. Anurag Naidu is a political analyst joining us. Khaliqur Rahman is a Congress leader. And let me take this first question across to Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst. Syed Asad Abbas, what explains this? You have the Namma Clinic, and fine, it is a laudable initiative. But the point is, you cannot have a situation where staff in such a critical sector are not paid their salaries for 3 months. They would have their house rents to pay, their children's school fees, apart from food and other essentials, which they would have to fulfill. How is a common man or a government employee expected to fulfill his or her requirements if this is the state of affairs?
I've always believed in accountability, and accountability of the Karnataka Congress government shall come through. There are no two ways about it. I've known my dear friend Imran for several years now, almost a decade, and there are no two ways about his investigation on the front. I think with this Times Now exclusive, I think Karnataka Health Minister Shri Dinesh Gundu Rao has stated to my friend Imran that he will get back, he will check on this, he will also check on the funds which need to come from the central government and take action. I believe I have many doctors in my family, and there are no two ways about it.
How much fund does the centre have to give the state government? Can you tell us?
How can I tell you, Madhav? You need to know it.
No, you are the one saying that the funds will come.
Am I the health minister or Dinesh Gundu Rao? Your question should
You are
be
here, sir.
Dinesh
You are here
Gundu
saying
Rao.
that the centre is supposed to give funds. Dinesh Gundu Rao has said you are just parroting his lines. Are you aware of whether there is genuinely a requirement or not?
Dinesh Gundu Rao, what he has stated on your channel is what I can say. I'm not privy to information which happens in the epicenter of the Karnataka government. So address your question
you're not privy to
Dinesh
information.
Gundu Rao.
You're not privy to information. All right. You're admitting that on camera. But let me bring in GS Prashant. GS Prashant, one second. GS Prashant, this is, once again, what highlights the state of affairs as far as the Karnataka government is concerned. When it comes to governance, you have a situation where, as a critical sector, as the Namma clinics, the healthcare sector, the citizens of the capital, this is the kind of healthcare they will receive, because here you have staff that are not being paid for 3 months. Is the BJP going to take up this issue?
Yes, Madhav, the financial crunch of the Karnataka Congress is out in the open. The economic advisor to the CM has time and again stressed that there are no funds. There are no funds for development because all of the money is getting into the other schemes that they've announced. And moreover, there's so much corruption and loot by the Congress ministers that there are no funds left in the government. They have not even implemented Ayushman Bharat in the state of Karnataka. So poor people cannot even get the benefits of Ayushman Bharat. And now, if such a critical aspect, which is like the healthcare, is being neglected, what about the health of the people who would want to visit these clinics because they are supposed to be providing free of cost treatment and medicines also? Where do the poor people go? You don't implement Ayushman Bharat. You will not pay salaries of the staff there. You expect them to work diligently when salaries are not paid for 3 months and then say that you attribute attendance issue, which means for 3 months they have not worked. If they've taken leave for 3 or 4 days, cut the 3-4 days salary and pay the rest. Admit that you don't have money. Accepting that, Dinesh Gundurao and other ministers, it's become fashion for them to blame center for every mismanagement. Last week, they have issued notices to collect money from fruit sellers, flower vendors and street side vendors in violation of GST laws, which means Karnataka government is so bankrupt that they're trying to squeeze the common man wherever possible.
Let me get in Kaliko Rahman. Kaliko Rahman, the state government is bankrupt. We all know the discourse surrounding the guarantees where, all the government money has gone there. There's nothing in the coffers. Now, this has been a debate for some time. But the point being made over here is this. What is the motivation for doctors, to be working if they're not even receiving their salaries for 3 months? What is the kind of healthcare that people in Bengaluru are going to receive? Kaliko Rahman.
Yeah, Madhav, good evening, and to all my co-panelists. In fact, I just heard what Mr. Gundurao had said, and also the BBMP chief has said. In fact, the Congress government has always been committed to the cause of the healthcare of the people of the country and of the states, whichever it is in the governance today. And with the very noble intention, the Congress has in fact set up the Namma clinics, and when these clinics were set up, in fact, when we were trying to invite the application for the doctors' recruitment, and there was very, very poor response. But in spite of that, because since we were so wanted to go ahead with this, and because I'm coming to the subject. Let me give you a little background of this. Have a little patience. Have patience for about 30 seconds. No. People need, see, the people who are, you may be knowing about it. You may be knowing about the background, but the people who are watching this show also should know about the background. They should not just go on here and say what is being said here, actually. So that,
giving back.
What is the hearsay here, sir? What is the hearsay? What is the hearsay, Kaliko Rahman? Tell us.
No, see, so, and what
doctors are saying, staff are saying, we are not receiving our salaries. Is that hearsay?
No, see, the BBMP chief has very clearly said that there were probably some attendance issues because of that.
Sir, which salary cycle issues affect the salary being disbursed for 3 months? Explain that to us. No, Mr. Kaliko Rahman, this is what the BBMP chief is saying. Are you endorsing those views? Yeah. And tell me logically, how can a salary cycle issue impact 3 months of salaries? Please be logical.
That is the reason, because it is now up to the BBMP chief that he has to in fact put everything in order and make sure if the salaries are really.
No, what are you saying? You're saying these doctors did not work for 3 months? You're saying the staff did not work for 3 months? What are you saying, sir?
I'm not saying
that. Where is the question of attendance here? Where does that come in? And aren't you insulting the service of all of these hardworking people, common citizens of Bengaluru?
Madhav, why are you trying to put the words in the mouth which I'm not saying?
No, you are taking at face value the explanation coming in from the BBMP chief, who has no explanation. He is saying salary cycle issues are responsible for 3 months of salary delays. Really? Are we that dense now?
He's a responsible officer, and we in fact have to take him on the face value.
But we have to take him at face value. Anurag Naidu.
We have to.
Anurag Naidu, he is a responsible officer. We have to take the statement of the BBMP official at face value. Please respond to what's being stated by Kaliko Rahman.
Yeah, I think it's made a good point, Madhav. I think we should compare the salary of the driver of the BBMP commissioner and how many months of delay that he has paid to his driver for driving his car, his chauffeur, and his servants should be compared to the people who are working as a frontline healthcare workers for the last mile delivery of the poor and the underprivileged people in Bengaluru. Let's have this comparison. How many legislators, MLAs, and ministers have got this deferred salaries, and are they okay about it? How many IAS officers, bureaucrats have enjoyed deferred salary by 3 months? Please do a comparison, because you cannot do a comparison because there is a union who will come up to your doorstep and say, hey, gentlemen, I have not received your salary, and you're going to pay them all the dues, bonuses, you know, what else? I mean, there is also, I mean, this is something that I always say, areas, interest on areas, everything will come, because then you have another IS association, then you have an MLA association, then you have minister association. What about this last mile healthcare workers? Show some empathy, sir. Show some empathy while talking. When you say that you do not receive a good response when you call for an application, that's when you have to increase the salary. That's when you have to make the workplace great. That's when you have to think about how you can really welcome better applications. That was a slap on the face if people are not turning up. That means there is something wrong with the advertisement in the first place itself. There are fundamentals to be corrected. Nobody is saying you don't roll out welfare schemes. All we have been bragging in the last few years, I mean 2-3 years, we've been having the same debate, Madhav, that while you roll out freebie schemes, have your economic model sorted out. This is a perfect example of financial mismanagement. Dinesh Gundu Rao sir has no answer. Commissioner has no clear answer. That means it is a financial mismanagement. When you don't have your fundamentals sorted, what makes you think that you can go out and roll out 65,000 crore for the people?
The fundamentals are not clear. The fundamentals are not clear, and there is very clear and gross financial mismanagement. That is the word coming in from both Anurag Naidu and GS Prashant. Your response?
I think the Congress government here in Karnataka, my state of Karnataka, must set priorities right. Paying the doctors and Namma clinic undoubtedly must and should be a priority, and there are no two ways about it. The fact of the matter, Karnataka State Health Minister Shri Dinesh Gundu Rao ji has responded to Imran, the senior correspondent of Times Now, that he shall get back. And knowing Imran personally, I know he will hold him for account and get answers from him.
No, that is what Imran will do. But the point is, why should it come to that? No, state government's job is to provide salaries. That's the most basic thing.
What is Karnataka government doing?
There are no two ways about it. I'll just complete. Similarly, like I said, there are no two ways about it. The Karnataka government must get to the root of this and must, on priority, bring the salary to them, and press as a watchdog, as a fourth pillar of constitution, is doing its duty to hold the government responsible.
GS Prashant, very quickly, GS Prashant.
Madhav, see, all this rhetoric about what they should do and the background, this only ensures that they have admitted or they don't have answers as to why the doctors and the staff have not been paid. This indicates severe financial crunch in the state government. The coffers are running dry. And to top it all, corruption is on everyone's wish list in the Karnataka Congress government. Therefore, they do not have funds, which they are not willing to admit, but through sources. And the economic advisor to CM has time and again stressed, and therefore the Congress...
Khaligur Rahman, will you admit that this is an issue of financial mismanagement, that the priorities are misplaced? Even Syed Asad Abbas, who is a resident of Bengaluru, he speaks out for the state government very often, or most of the time at least. Today, of course, he is at least honestly admitting that there is some lapse here. Will you admit that there is a lapse, Khaligur Rahman?
See, as for the BBMP chief is concerned, in fact, it is his duty to make sure that the salaries are disbursed, and the attendance issues can always be, handled and tackled and can always be looked into. But just for the sake of the attendance issue, the salary should not have been held up actually, and should not have been stopped. So I think the first and the foremost thing for the BBMP chief is to look into the disbursement of the salaries, and later on, if any extra salaries paid, that always can...
We all know what he's supposed to do. But this explanation of attendance, I'm not able to understand. Imran, can you explain to our viewers what is his explanation of attendance, of salary cycles? How does that make any sense? I'm unable to understand. And we could have an attendance issue in 1 month. How does that affect 3 months of salaries not being paid?
Yes. Well,
Absolutely, Madhav. In fact, this is what we, from the sources department, what we got to know is that the money meant for their salaries has not been dispersed yet. In fact, this is a bizarre explanation given by the BBMP commissioner that this salary must have been attendance issue. He knows very clearly that the department has not given the salary, and he's come up with an excuse that the attendance is an issue. Attendance is an issue only for 1 month, or it will be rectified in the next month, but not for 3 months. In fact, when the employees also met the government over this issue, they said the government doesn't have money at the moment. I can see here from the videos they're expressing the anguish and the pain that they told them salaries will be given once in 3 months, and they're struggling to do their job because of the fact that 3 months they are not getting salaries.
Absolutely. Big story there, Imran. I'd like to congratulate you on breaking this big exclusive, but the big icing on the cake will be if the state government takes action. We are doing this only in public interest because there are hard-working young men and women who are part of the entire Namma clinic, procedure. They have their rents to pay. They have their children to be sent to schools. They have their household expenses. 3 months is certainly not fair on these individuals. God only knows how they are managing for such a long period of time. And in the interest of that, I'd like to thank GS Prashad, Anurag Naidu, Khalikur Rahman, Saeed Asnabas and Imran for breaking that big story right here on Times Now. There's some more